Hello guys and welcome to UEFA Nations League match day 6. Games on Monday and Tuesday. Still some things to be decided. Some other games that are like friendlies, to be honest, but still some money to be made. And we have the magician 𝐬𝐵𝐴', the jugón Alvaro Romeo with us to analyze these best games that we are going to see on Monday and on Tuesday. So don't miss the show. Both were correct in the 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐴 in Nations League match day 5. Well, in this case was Ronan, not 𝐿𝐴𝐴, but both 𝐻𝐿𝐴𝐴s were in the Nations League. So let's hope to be accurate again. Well, guys, let's go on now with the show. Croatia-Portugal is the first game. Portugal absolutely leader of this group, 13 points, 6 more than Croatia with 7, Poland and Scotland with 4. Portugal smashing all the teams, 5-1 against Poland. Cristiano Ronaldo, young again, scored a brace. Everything is very positive in the reverse fixture. Portugal beat Croatia 2-1. Alvaro, Portugal is still favorite, even if there is nothing on stake here for Portugal. Perhaps good odds to back somehow Croatia just for the sake that they are playing in home soil.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna back Croatia here. I believe that Portugal can be very dangerous. We saw the other day how in the second half they trashed Poland, and I believe that this is one of these games that is going to be nail beating, quite leveled, both with different styles. I think that Portugal, when they are on a scoring spree, they can score 4 or 5. Croatia is never about that. Croatia lost against Scotland in the last game with a goal from 𝐿𝐴𝐴, but Croatia was reduced to 10 men as well because 𝐬𝐿𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 was sent off with a double yellow. It's true that historically Croatia hasn't done too well against Portugal in UEFA competitions. In fact, they have lost all 5 of their meeting with Portugal. But, you know, there is a little bit to play for Croatia because if Scotland wins and Croatia loses, Scotland will finish second. Because they have leveled their head-to-head with Croatia. So I think that Croatia definitely needs a point, and I think that they can get it. So I could back them with a double chance 1x, 149. But, you know, I think that the money has to be found somewhere else. Like, for example, an Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Croatia. I really like this one. It pays 167. I think that they can actually make sure that they don't lose this game. Portugal, yes, even if they are qualified, even if they are first, we know about their firepower. I don't think that they will speculate, particularly because they've got nothing to lose, and many players who are eager to prove that they have the level to play for Portugal. But Croatia, when they are playing at home, they are capable of just making a tight scoreline. I think that they will dominate for long spells of this game because they are really good at possession. So I'm going to go for that. Asian handicap plus 0.25 for Croatia, 167. I don't forget, though, about the firepower of Portugal, starting by Cristiano, who has scored, by the way, 5 goals in this Nations League so far, which is quite an achievement considering his age.
Indeed. Portugal, 𝐿𝐴𝐴, after a disappointing Euros, they are doing really well in this Nations League. Something similar to Italy, although Italy screwed up on Sunday with France. But yeah, bouncing back after a discreet, let's say, Euro.
Yes, but what is the biggest challenge about Portugal is to discern the fantastic generation they have. Portugal, if we check the midfield line, is probably top 3 in the world for quality. After how the manager work with them in the worst way, because Portugal with that type of midfielder must to be a dominant team from the possession and from to create occasion. Now we can probably make some question about the role of Cristiano. I think, in my opinion, Cristiano lock a little that creativity, because if you check when Cristiano is in the field and when he's not in the field, when he's not in the field, we saw major creativity. A team not always search Cristiano. For the rival defense is easy to defend when Cristiano is in the field, because there's search always Cristiano. And the victory against Poland, in my opinion, is not a reference. Poland is one of the team who worst exploit the potential that have. When you have a Lewandowski in the field and you never pass 35% of the possession, you have a big problem. And some manager have that problem with Poland. Now, Croatia at home, they never won a game, in official game, against Portugal. In my opinion, for the motivation, Croatia will be more motivated than Portugal for a lot of things. After the bad Euro, after the defeat in Scotland, the history, because they never beat Portugal in an official game. For that, I choose Croatia winning. One is a surprise, I know, but the odds are so interesting. Odds 2.87.
Well, Daniel is telling us that according to the Oddspedia stats, there is 100% chance for both teams to score an over 9.5 corners in this game. So it could be a very good idea. We have to take all these games, I think, with a pinch of salt, because there are so many teams with nothing on stake. And we are back to club football with a lot of games in the next week, so perhaps the managers, the players take a rest in these games. Well, next one is important, Poland, Scotland, because as Alvaro said, Scotland still could be second, and anyway, both are fighting to avoid the last spot right now. For Scotland, first is the head-to-head, and then is the general goal average. Poland -6, lost 5-1 to Portugal, drew 3-3 with Croatia. Their only win was in Scotland, actually, 3-2, so plenty of goals for a national team that usually is a bit stingy, Alain, but we are seeing a lot of goals in the Polish games, kind of the opposite for Scotland, actually.
Yes, Scotland have a really interesting generation coming with Gilmour and McTominay. That played really well in Napoli, especially McTominay is a leader. In 3 months in Napoli, he's a authentic leader. Gilmour played really well when Lobotka was injured, and is a little against the traditional model of play of Scotland. Scotland want to play now. It's not a direct football. It's a team with creativity. When you have Doak with your Christie from the winger, we have McGinn, like in alternative. Conway is really young, 22 years old, for the Middlesbrough striker or killer. And in my opinion, Scotland can be compete to go back in a World Cup in front of a really disappointed team like Poland, because in my opinion, Poland is best than his last results, and in the model of play. In the model of play, they don't deserve the big offensive potential they have. And in the last 3 games in National League, 11 goals received. If Poland lose his skills in without the ball, Poland will be not go in the next World Cup. They must to correct that. For that game, Scotland will be play offensive football is his identity. There will be concede space, and Poland is comfortable when they found the space, especially when they played in Warsaw. I choose the market of goal over 2.75 goals, odds 2.18.
Also, Theo thinks there will be goals, both in Scotland and Scotland over 1.5 goals. This is risky, the away team to score at least 2 goals. How do you see it, Alvaro? We cannot hear you, Alvaro. Alvaro, one.
Sorry, yeah, you can hear
no.
me now. You can hear me
Yes.
now. Yeah. Sorry about that. No, I was saying that I'm very keen on backing Scotland somehow, because what they did the other day against Croatia had a certain merit. Again, Croatia was reduced to 10 men, but Scotland has good players, and what I like about them is that they are the kind of footballers that are very vertical and try to make a difference with the scoring rather than with defending. And their intensity is very contagious as well. I'm talking about McGinn, the guy who scored a goal against Croatia last week. I'm talking about 𝐿𝐿𝐴, who had a really good landing at Napoli. Billy Gilmour, of course, Alain has spoken about him. I think that 𝐷𝗐𝐿 was terrific against 𝐵𝗀𝗏𝗀. We know that 𝐵𝗀𝗏𝗀 is one of the good defenders right now in world football, and 𝐷𝗐𝗏 got the better of him a few times. And, you start adding up players of that quality and you put them all together, plus you take into consideration that Scotland has a point to prove after a very bad Euro. I think that Scotland could get something out of this game. I would be happy to back them with an Asian handicap plus 0.25. If they draw, you get half a win. If they win, you win it. But the individual market of 𝐿𝐴 is interesting here, because I was checking the stats provided by UEFA.com, official stats. And it's funny how McTominay is one of the players who have attempted more shots in this Nations League, and the sample size is 5 games, so it's already big enough. Scott McTominay is the 24th player on attempts in the stats, but we have to take into consideration, number 1, that he's a midfielder, and number 2, that most of the players in the rankings are forwards, but being the 24th in there is quite something. And he's the 17th player on shots on target in the Nations League. 6 so far, by the way, so more than 1 per game. So one of my bets is going to be, since Scotland needs to win, Scott McTominay to have 1 shot on target or more. That pays 183. I really think that him coming from behind, him just playing at the edge of the box, he will have the opportunities to produce a shot on target. So I'm gonna back that. And yeah, when it comes to Poland, look, I think that they should be better than Scotland, but for some reason they are not. And they have never been outside the League One in the Nations League, but here they are in real danger. And they will play already without the star man Robert Lewandowski. Jan Bednarek of Southampton is missing. Also Sampdoria's footballer Bartosz Perisiński, and Fenerbahce's midfielder Sebastian Szymanski is not there as well. So those are big sensitive absentees for Poland. So that's why I think that the hump and the swagger is a little bit with Scotland. So I'm going to back them with an Asian handicap plus 0.25 this time.
Okay, goals also for crypto, going for an over 2.5 goals. This is in Group 1 with Portugal first of the group. Let's move to Group 4. Here, Spain are topping the group, 13 points after beating Denmark in Copenhagen. Despite the absences, the team still wins. Alvaro received some fire after backing Spain in the Parken Stadium, and there you go. Also, Ronan, yeah, and they won. They are without a defeat since they lost to Scotland. 20 games undefeated for Spain. They want to do the 21 in the heat of Tenerife, or good weather in Tenerife. Ayoce Perez got injured, so he scored in Denmark and he cannot play. Switzerland, the opposite bottom of this group, only 2 points. They are going down to League B. So, Alvaro, despite all the absences, back Spain looks like almost a safe bet, actually.
Look, there are many players missing for Spain, but Spain has been playing the Nations League already a little bit like this. I mean, Spain hasn't been able to replicate the lineup that brought the championship to the country, that lineup that beat England in the final. And in fact, the lineup against Denmark the other day at Parken was totally different from the first 11 that Luis de la Fuente could play back in summer. But still, Spain still wins because there is a belief in the manager and in the players that this is the right way to play. And I think that all the players are going on board with it, with the high pressure, the high intensity, attacking as quick as possible, sending the ball to the channels, and it's not the same. And you are not as formidable if you don't have Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, Rodri, Carvajal. I get it. I understand it. But on the other hand, let me tell you something about Spain. Not only they are, or we are, the European champions, we are the Olympic champions. So there is a massive pool of 40, 45 players who are actually competitive. Of course, there are different levels of quality. Again, no one is as good as Lamine Yamal when it comes to playing on the right. No one is as good as Rodri when it comes to playing as a holding midfielder. But the pool of players is there. Spain was this summer the European and the Olympic champion. And on top of that, they are the defending champions of the Nations League. So for me, there are reasons to back Spain. So obvious that I find it baffling when some people doubt Spain. And on top of that, Spain hasn't won in 20 competitive games. It hasn't lost, in 20 competitive games. So they are in a good moment. And the new players like 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 the other day who are playing, they are showing a good level. It's not going to be easy to beat Switzerland, I think. But I'm going to back Spain because Spain is a team that, for example, survived against the Swiss in the reverse fixture after being reduced to 10 men in the first half. And they managed to win that game comfortably, I would say. Switzerland is already relegated, by the way. With the Swiss, it's a little bit like with Poland. It looks like it could be a little bit the twilight of a project. I hope not, especially with Switzerland, because I really like what they did in the Euros, especially when they played against Italy. They were fantastic. I really like Switzerland. With a system when 𝐬𝐵𝐵𝐺𝐸 was so undetectable with the rest of the players, so important, Embolo just getting to his best fitness again and all that. But still, I'm going to back Spain to win with an Asian handicap -1. It pays 172, and I do believe that the odds are with me, and the past and the head-to-head and many more things are with me as well. So I think that this is not a crazy bet.
Theo is adding up a little bit more even, Spain to win with a spread of -1.5. What is happening to Switzerland, Alain? The last big win was against Italy. We saw it at the Euros, and they are fading away since that game.
But it's simple. Switzerland is in a process to change a lot of players. Because right now Switzerland have 5 titulars: the goalkeeper 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐽, Akanji, Freuler and Xhaka, and Embolo. That is the base. After 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐽 right now search 6 players, especially for the animation to the wing, and we saw some player alternate, but they're really young. Okafor, Amdouni, Rieder, Amenda must to take the risk about the international level, and that one will take time. And we know time is something difficult to pronounce in football. But right now, the process to change the generation will be difficult in every line, because Schär was really important. In summer, it was really important for the defensive line. In the animation of the game, we know the importance of Shaqiri. 𝐿𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐽 right now doesn't have a special monthly man, because Shaqiri during a season was really bad everywhere. But during the months of competition in Euro and in World Cup, Shaqiri was a brilliant player, a really brilliant player. And right now he's in this process. Now the question is, for the qualification, there must to improve, because without an improvement, Switzerland will be not going to the World Cup. Now, in the last 2 games against Denmark, against Serbia, in the content, the team was good, but they have a problem to manage the score. because against Denmark, against Serbia, they score first, and against Denmark 2 times, but they're known to manage that the advantage. And 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 have a lot of job. Now is a friendly game because Switzerland is almost relegated. De La Fuente can be make some test. I think the grade of concentration will be really high. For that reason, I see both teams scoring, and Switzerland doing good game against Spain in the last years. Both teams to score, odds 1.93.
Indeed, a friendly game in Tenerife, so it's good to go in November to the Canary Island, enjoy the beach, the good weather, and perhaps goals in this Spain. Switzerland, more on stake in the Serbia-Denmark, because with a draw, Denmark are second, but if Serbia wins, they are qualified for the quarterfinals of the Nations League in March. So Serbia need to win after that draw. Got it in Switzerland with 𝗀𝗏𝗏 scoring, with Mitrovic missing a penalty at home in this Nations League. Alain, they haven't conceded yet, drew with Spain, beat Switzerland. And we know that Denmark suffer when they play away, especially. Do you think the Serbians can make it?
With Serbia, it's difficult to predict. Probably one of the most difficult teams to predict because the talent is not proportional with the results. With that generation, 𝐬𝐭𝐴 don't value the team, especially in the offensive line. When you have Mitrovic, Vlahovic, Tadic, the talent, the grade of talent is really high, but he don't found a system. I am really surprised about that. Against Switzerland, we saw Serbia playing with a new system, with a new structure in offensive phase, with a number 10 like Samardžić and 2 striker, with Mitrovic and with Vlahovic. In the content, they concede a lot. They don't deserve to catch a draw in Switzerland. Switzerland was really bad in the finalization, and the best player with Serbia was his goalkeeper. Petrovic made a brilliant game. The goalkeeper of Strasbourg. In my opinion, Serbia suffered the structure about Denmark, because Denmark known which type of football they want to play. The idea is really clear in Denmark. They lose only against Spain in this Nation League. That one mean a lot for me. In the first game in Denmark, there was really better than Serbia. It was not a really brilliant game, especially in the offensive way, but Denmark have something more in collective perspective. And I am surprised about the double opportunity. X2 Denmark no lose in Serbia, odds 1.55, and I think Denmark can be catch the point to accede to the quarter of final of that National League.
Okay, draw at first half. For 𝐻 at halftime, Serbia plus 0.5 for Millie. Alvaro, your take?
Yeah, I think that a similar one to Alain's. I think that I really like what Alain said about Serbia's talent not being proportionate to the results. The results should be better, yes. I also believe that Denmark is capable of traveling to Serbia and winning this game. By the way, this game is going to be played far away from Belgrade, in a ground of 8,000 seats. So the big atmosphere may not be that big this time for the home side. In the reverse fixture, Denmark won 2-0 with a goal in each half, with a third time, I would say, by the Danes. And yeah, I know that Serbia has to win. They have been unbeaten at home in the Nations League, which is obviously a good starting point. Then 𝐿𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐵, the 23-year-old defender from AC Milan, is back. Obviously, that may strengthen their defensive structure, that's for sure. And I think that one of the main problems of Serbia is that every time I see them, I have the feeling that it's either they manage to get something from the middle, I mean, good defending in the box, a strong unit or compact unit in midfield, or a good shot from inside the box, the penalty area, more or less. But from the wings, they don't get a lot. I think that Denmark, if they stretch the pitch a little bit, they can really make it difficult for Serbia, because Denmark can play with width and Serbia cannot, or they are not the best in that aspect. So I'm going to back Denmark with an Asian handicap plus 0.25. Very simple. If they draw, you get half a win. If they win, you win. That pays 170. Otherwise, a draw no bet for Denmark, 208. It's kind of good as well, because Denmark only needs a point, and I think that they are very capable of coming here in Serbia and getting that done. I think that they can do the job here. So, those will be more or less my bets. My parameters for this game are these ones. I think that Serbia will try to impose some physicality, especially being very strong in the middle, as I said before. But Denmark is more than used to this type of challenges. So I think that they can make it. And Denmark, even though they were dominated against Spain, especially in the first half, then they show resilience and personality in the second half. And I don't forget that either. I think that the Danes are a better side than Serbia.
Well, you both agree then for this game. Let's go to the games on Tuesday. This group is completely decided. Group 3. First game is Bosnia-Netherlands, with the Netherlands thrashing Hungary 4-0. 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐴 and 𝐿𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐴, for instance, on the score sheet. Bosnia, bottom of the group, only 1 point, smashed 7-0 by Germany, 16 goals conceded. Also, Netherlands won 5-2, and there are no doubts for the bookies, Alvaro, that Netherlands should win here.
No, there are no doubts. And obviously, you have to look for alternative values as well. It's all decided in this group. It has to be said. So there is an element of lack of tension that may affect a little bit our original thoughts about this game, because my main take would be Netherlands winning easily. But on the other hand, since everything has been decided, I will have to wait and see. I wouldn't be too much against in-game betting here, or just waiting a little bit for the first 5 minutes and then decide what I go for, because I really want to see what's the level of tension in the Bosnia's camp and in the Dutch camp as well. Let's don't forget that everything has been decided. Nothing can change. Bosnia is relegated. Netherlands are going to come out second of the group, and they will be in the quarterfinals. But, the Netherlands were impressive against Hungary in a game marked in a way by what happened to Adam Szalai. He was on the bench. He's part of the coaching staff of Hungary, and he had to be withdrawn on a stretcher because he had an illness. He felt ill, and I think that affected a lot the Hungarian players too. But anyway, you take that aside, and the Netherlands were good. Dumfries, a goal and an assist. 𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐿𝐴, Weghorst, both scoring their penalties. Then Malen being involved in a few attacking actions in the first half. And then Frenkie de Jong is the player that I watched part of this game. I watched the highlights of Frenkie de Jong in the game. And I think that Frenkie is still not ready to go for a tackle. He's so scared of picking an injury that this is going to affect his psychology a little bit for the coming weeks. I hope that he recovers from that quickly, but it was good to see him playing for the Netherlands again. And when it comes to Bosnia, look, the League A proved to be too much for them. The morale can be low when you come out last of the group, but maybe Bosnia will take some lessons from playing against the likes of the Netherlands, Germany, and all that. They conceded 7 against the Germans, and that is going to be a little bit my benchmark for this game. Also, 𝐵𝐵𝐿𝐵𝐴, the goalkeeper of Bosnia, I'm not too convinced about him. He doesn't cover the goal frame well. He makes himself small, and he has soft hands. Obviously, he had a lot of work to do because Germany had 22 attempts against him the other day. But if you play with a goalkeeper like this, then losing is more likely. I'm going to go for a clean sheet for the Netherlands, 187, or even Netherlands to win 210, because the other day they produced a clean sheet against Hungary. That is not easy. But again, and take this into consideration, please. Everything is decided. So wait a little bit for the game to start. Let's see what is the level of seriousness between Bosnia and the Netherlands, and then maybe make your decision. This would be my advice here. Wait a little bit to see the lineup and all that. If the Netherlands is playing, taking the game seriously, and with a strong lineup, definitely back them.
Indeed, this is a friendly, Alain, and there is this big risk, actually.
Yes, now Bosnia in the last 22 games, they won only 3. 2 against Liechtenstein, I think it doesn't count, and 1 against Ireland. And that one, Bosnia is in a generation crisis. And the Group A was so much for them. Now there must to build a new generation. In change, Holland with Koeman in the bench, maybe we can set only the game against Germany. Holland was not in his best version. We saw again a really offensive team, because when do you have a midfield with Reinders, De Jong, and Gravenberg is really creative midfielder, and you have 𝐿𝐴 ready to take a place in his 11. You have 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐧𝐸, was really good, but there made difference from the wing, from the back. Dumfries is the best scorer of Holland in this Nation League. Timber is so offensive, and I like to see Holland back with that mentality. We hope they found the killer, like a striker. It can be 𝐬𝐭𝐴𝐧𝐸, maybe Weghorst, but Weghorst now starting to get a little older for the high level. And for that game, I think Holland will be not so motivated, but Bosnia will be motivated. And I choose Bosnia 1 with handicap 1.75, odds 1.70.
All right, not to lose heavily, Bosnia in Alain's opinion. Hungary, Germany, very similar take, I would say, although Hungary, they are usually more competitive. They are going to finish third. They drew with Bosnia and the Netherlands playing at home. When they fly to Germany, they lost 5-0, and Germany is big Germany nowadays. Alain, they did a great Euro, and now without Toni Kroos, we have to see them again, big rivals, but they are delivering, and it's going to be one of the favorites for sure for the World Cup.
Yes, I think Nagelsmann found the system, found his player. The idea is really clear. It's really clear, and he is giving continuity to the model of play, and they have alternative in every role. Wirtz and Musiala, I think that will be the player must to make the difference in the future in Germany. In United States, there will have 2 years more experience and more powder. Now the cross substitution, I think Gross is playing really well in this moment with Hendrik. Is a very good midfielder, especially for the creation, and now play against Hungary. In the last 5 games, Germany suffered a little with Hungary in the Euro, after in Nation League, but they take this game like a big revenge about the Euro and the Nation League, where Hungary was able to win in Germany with the goal of Salah. Now the 5-0 at the beginning of September Hungary did really well in the last 2 years, but against Germany, against Holland, they lose that strengthness without the ball. Now Rossi must to work about that, because it's the identity of Hungary. For that game is a little like Bosnia, Netherlands. I think Hungary can catch a positive results. I know is a surprise, but the odds are interesting and it's possible. Odds 2.64 for 1x.
Okay, double chance. Emil is going for Musiala and Havertz to score. Of course, check the lineups. We saw some surprises in the previous game. Alvaro, for instance, we saw 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴, a player from Gladbach, scoring a brace. He had scored 6 goals in the Bundesliga, and now he scored a brace with the national team.
Well, and he scored his first international goal, so Germany is looking for a striker. Nicolas 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴 is not playing for West Ham United a lot, and Kai Havertz is rather a number 10 these days than a number 9, at least for Julian Nagelsmann. So I can understand that, but a little bit still happens with Spain to a lesser extent. Germany has a massive pool of players too. Let's don't forget that, for example, their main goalkeeper, Marc-André ter Stegen, is injured. For example, these days, Toni Kroos left, and now they are playing with Pascal Gross, who is a really good footballer, and Andrich, who... Andrich has a very good thing. I think that he leads the pressure very well. And the goal 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴 scored the other day against one of them, against Bosnia, was thanks to Andrich's pressure at the edge of the box. He really bites you to get the ball. And I think that Germany is cooking something special. I think that in the Euros, they were the second best team after Spain. They could have beaten Spain if it wasn't for that penalty of 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐴, which was, by the way, a penalty. Let's don't forget. They have scored 17 goals in the Nations League, more than anyone else. And then I think Musiala and 𝗀𝗏 are the equivalent of Lamela and Williams or Vinicius and Rodrigo in Brazil. 2 players who can make the difference, 2 players who come from different wings or channels, and they are a terror. They are an absolute pain to mark. And Germany as well in the Nations League is the leader in clean sheets with 3 in the League A, obviously, all together with Spain too. So the numbers are there. And then Hungary, look, I'm maybe disappointed about them because they should have not 5 points, they should have 6. Because they are far better than Bosnia, and they drew 0-0 with them in one of the games. They've got 5 points, but they should have 6 in all reality, because they should have beaten Bosnia in both games, because they are better. The average of goals conceded for Hungary is really high. They have conceded 2 per game. And they have only had 2 scorers to date in the competition, Szalai and Szoboszlai. Totally different to Germany. Germany doesn't have a high scorer, but they've got players, many players, who can score any time. So the odds are against Hungary, in my opinion, and Germany is better. And I'm going to back Germany with an Asian handicap -1, 185. I know that there is very little to play for, but on the other hand, when a team like Germany plays like this, there is no reason for me to believe that Julian Nagelsmann is going to tell them, look, guys, slow down a little bit, don't play to your best level. I think Germany right now is playing like this very naturally. They play this vertical football because it comes naturally out of the soul of these players. They are like this. So I think that they are going to try to impose their game in Hungary. They will play very fast football, and I think that Hungary will find it very difficult, will struggle to tackle all this German wave these days. So Asian handicap -1 for Germany, 185.
Is the highest scoring team in this Nations League, Germany, with 17 goals scored, and still this game to be played. We have some comments here. Mustafa is going for Germany to win, and Sam Martin said this will be a surprise. We are going to analyze one more game. We are going to go down to League B. Group 1, we really like this group. We have Czech Republic, Georgia, 8 points for the Czechs, 7 for the Georgians, and also we have Albania, Ukraine, 7 for Albania, 5 for Ukraine. So absolutely everything to be decided in this group. Very, very interesting. And our stop is going to be in the Czech Republic in that game against Georgia, because in the reverse fixture, remember, 4-1 for Georgia, but the Czechs had recovered, and especially at home, they beat Ukraine and Albania. On the other hand, Georgia in the previous game couldn't beat Ukraine, with 𝐬𝐿𝐴 always scoring for Georgia, really informed when he plays for the national team. Alvaro, do you back Czech Republic odds around 1.8?
I'm going to go for both teams to score because I don't forget that 2 months ago, Georgia beat the Czech Republic 4-1. I mean, this is something that we shouldn't forget either. And I know that Georgia's results have gone downwards a little bit because they started really strong and then they haven't been able to capitalize on their great start, and that's why they are second in the group. And the Czech Republic have recovered from that hammering they got in 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝐿. But yeah, I think that this game can be both teams to score. It happened on the 7th of September between these two contenders, 4-1 for Georgia. And ever since, little by little, the Czech Republic has corrected themselves, starting by beating Ukraine and then beating Albania. And that set the tone a little bit for the rest of the group stage. But they have been the best teams in the group so far. The permutations in this group can get a little bit complicated. Let's don't forget it, because the Czech Republic can even finish third, but they cannot be relegated automatically. Ukraine, for example, who are playing against Albania, they can even finish second despite being the bottom of the group. So everything can happen. And I'm going to take a very particular take here. I think that one of the best things that has happened in this Nations League has been the amount of goals that we have seen. 3.02 per game is the average after so many games. So I'm going to go in this game for both teams to score, 195. It happened in 𝗵𝗵𝗄𝐿, and I think that it can happen here because Georgia has the firepower, yes. They have scored 6 goals in 5 games. Not a lot, but still, there is a goal in them, and the Czech Republic are playing at home, and I can see them scoring. Both teams to score 195.
Czechia to win for Theo, under 2.5 goals for Mustafa. Alain?
Czech Republic, when they play at home, they're really strong. They lose only against Turkey in the last 11 games. Now Georgia, a big offensive potential. It's curious because after the brilliant victory against the Czech Republic and the victory in Albania, Georgia was in a really comfortable position in this Nation League, and they lose so many points because only 1 point to 9 in the last 3 games, and 2 games at home against Albania, against Ukraine. Where is the problem? Now that in Prague, the pressure will be for the Czech Republic, and Georgia, when they can play with the free mind, Georgia is dangerous. Georgia is dangerous when they found space with 𝗀𝗻𝗀𝗀 and 𝐻𝐵𝗀𝗀𝗀 is a brilliant offensive line. Now against Czech Republic, you must to to defend against really direct team. The team play really physical, and you must to win a lot of individual duel, especially in the aerial duels. Georgia will be must to do a very strong and serious game, because if they don't found that, Czech Republic will be win that game. But I am with Alvaro. I choose both teams to score because I think 𝗲𝗏 can be put some dangerous counter attack, and Czech Republic normally at home they score every time. Both teams to score 1.83.
Okay, you both agree 𝗀𝗏𝗀𝐿 doing great with Antonio Conte's Napoli, and 𝐬𝐵𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 always dangerous. The other interesting one, as I said, Albania. Ukraine, Theo is going for Albania. Draw, no bet. Ukraine are favorites, actually, according to the odds. Well, this is it for the Nations League. This competition is back in March with the quarterfinals, another round, more extra games added by UEFA. Alain, remember, by the way, Alain, Alvaro, everyone, that we have tipster competitions going on. We've added in these days NBA, we have NFL, we have Premier League, we have yearly, we have monthly, and I want to announce that in the next few days we are going to launch our rivals, is called, so you can create actually your own and customized competition and play with your friends. So it's kind of a football manager or a Premier League manager. You can do it in the next few days in Oddspedia. And also remember that we are on Discord. When it's live rivals, we will let you know and show you. Well, Alain, now it's time for your safe bet.
Czech Republic, Georgia over 1.75 goals, odds 1.32.
Alvaro?
Spain to win, 146.
I said it was a safe bet before. And the ACCA? Alvaro?
Will be Asian yeah, of course. Asian handicap -1 for Spain. Asian handicap -2 for Sweden. They play against Azerbaijan. Germany to win. Altogether 494.
Okay, and Alain Valnegri?
Serbia, Denmark, X2. Poland, Scotland over 2.25 goals. Bosnia, Netherlands, 1 with handicap 1.75 for a total 4.45.
Okay, we have a very interesting Liechtenstein San Marino. Today, Monday, San Marino need a point to be second and play the promotions playoff. So this could be.
I don't found a ticket fly because I searched ticket fly to go to Liechtenstein.
To Liechtenstein?
No.
Yes, save some money.
Don't have airport. There don't have airport.
No, save some money.
It's all booked. No hotel rooms, nothing. It's all taken.
Well, you saw how San Marino crew celebrated the last minute goal against Gibraltar.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting game, this one. Well, thank you, Alvaro. Thanks, Alain. Let me know if you are watching this game tonight. Liechtenstein, San Marino. We had also today, I was checking, Fiji, Samoa, or something like this was today. So there are football games all around the globe. Yeah. Thank you, Alvaro. Thank you, Alain. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Thank you.